Well, the conference, it's always interesting for our men because, you know, we only have 12 guys on the roster. And we had one that had been sick, and Reilly, of course, our #1 guy, was still kind of coming off an injury. Probably could have run it, but we had to make a game time decision whether we thought it was in his best interest to do so. So we decided to hold him out. And the guys ran fantastic. The course is very, very difficult, doesn't run fast at all. And we figured the best we could have done was third, and that's what they did. So the gamble paid off. And on the women's side, they just looked strong. We have a tendency to peak at the right time, championship season. And I did some of the numbers, and John and Carl helped with some statistics, and the statistics were telling, given the fact that we ran there early in the season. And I think on average they ran between 45 seconds and 1:15 faster the second time around. And that was a testimony to the fact that they were grinding it out. So we came home from the conference very pleased, but not done. Because our sport, nothing carries forward. You can do phenomenally well at the conference meet, and then you start all over again for the regional meet.
Yeah, so I think we went into the conference meet really strong, and like overall, I think we had some really solid performances. I know we were aiming to beat AIC, and in the final it was 10 points we were off from AIC, so pretty close.
We definitely had the confidence going in, you know, having so many victories kind of under our belt in past years. But, you know, AIC put up a really good fight, and they just kind of happened to be better that day. But it'll definitely be good to see them at Nationals this weekend, and hopefully we'll be able to kind of have that competition with them again.
At the regional race, we ended up being, I think, 8 points off from them, so definitely some improvement. We definitely had, again, some like really huge performances by like one Caitlin Swanson, who is a sophomore. She had a really good race. And
I think we did even better. So at the regional level, there's obviously more competition. Roberts Wesleyan came into the play, so they were obviously a very talented team. Also, Franklin Pierce has a lot of very talented guys as well. So we were all competing for one of those top 3 spots, and it wasn't given to us. At the 9K mark, we were down. We were in 4th place by 5 points. So our last kilometer, our guys really picked it up, got into gear, and were able to pull it off. And again, we just executed. We did our job, and we followed our plan. And you know, the results led to us making a national championship again for the 18th year in a row, and you know, we couldn't be happier.
So that was just a nail biter from start to finish. I give Aiden Byrne a huge shout out. 3 or 4 of the guys on our team had never run a 10,000 meters before, so for them to compose themselves for that long, for that hard a race, was phenomenal. Franklin Pierce and Roberts Wesleyan were both ahead of us, and I think they were probably as surprised as we were that we pulled it off. And the women just, they're just really tough. There's a huge tradition here, both sides, that this is just what we're gonna do. And I think they would always be looking at anything shy of top 3 as failure. And that has carried on over and over, the traditions.
Both the conference and the region have gotten significantly better since I first came here, and over the course of 4 years, the competition has got vastly better. So we knew going into this year, especially with the youth of our team, and really having 2 years off from that experience for anyone, whether the veteran guys or the younger guys, that going into that with the improvement of the conference was going to be difficult. And I think we handled it as well as we could have ever imagined, with the guys who were young showing that the moment wasn't too big for them, and the guys who were coming back after all this time and had been there before, that they hadn't forgot what that racing intensity was like, and they hadn't forgot what it was like for us to get on the line with Stonehill across our chest either.
So I'm not impressed that easily, and it's probably a fault of mine. Been coaching for a long, long time. I've seen a lot of good athletes. I've seen success and I've seen failure. But at the end of the day, we don't have anybody we consider a superstar. And we always say you have to bring something to the table whether you're a freshman or senior, and you got to know what that is. So if they were able to make the top 7, they knew this was a serious job that they were holding on to. You know, Connor had a breakout race earlier and, you know, took one for the team. You'll usually have someone that runs great and someone that runs not so great. And if everybody else does fine, you're in a good spot. If everybody runs great, you're going to have a big day. But the younger kids, really, we owe so much to them. But in all due respect, even my juniors and seniors, if they didn't make the top 7 their freshman or sophomore year, they've never run a 10,000 meters either. So that year off really was pretty detrimental to experience. They were a very inexperienced team across the board. But they stepped into the right place and they wore the big boy pants and they just got the job done. And I have no doubt that they're going to, you know, continue to do that. The women, Emma is young, Emma Lawrence, probably one of the more composed freshmen I've had the privilege to coach. She's so low maintenance that we sort of take her for granted, as we do Becca and Vic and Jill. And, you know, there's so many that have literally lined up every time, and we just know they're going to do well.
This year we have a young team, and we don't have a lot of experience. So half of the guys coming to nationals with us, it'll be their first trip to a national championship. So I think it's really telling of the future of our team. I think we have a lot of potential. We have a lot of young talent that just needs a little more time to develop, and once we do, I think we're going to be a big force to be reckoned with. But this year, I mean, championship season, we really pulled it out of the bag, and a lot of our younger guys stepped up when some of the older guys may have been injured, including myself. So, you know, again, we did our job.
We took those 2 weeks between conferences and regionals to get healthy, and when we got on the line, you have to act like you're 100% even if you're not. So, and it all came together, which was amazing.
Our kids, though, regionally and conference-wise, they know, even though they have in some cases not competed against these people, they know who to watch. The staff knows who to watch. So if I yell out a name or a color, they automatically know that they're in a position that they have to kind of get up to whatever name or color that is. I know one year they had actually pictures of people from other teams that they had to take care of.
And we just all have to show up and compete and not be scared of all of like the numbers of runners and stuff like that and the other like amazing runners. So just being out there, staying focused, and just getting after it.
So you have to act like everyone is someone you're familiar with. Because at regionals, you see the backs of jerseys, whether it's someone in the NE10, AIC, Southern Connecticut, or in the region, Roberts Wesleyan, and you know who they are, you've raced against them a million times, and you know beating them is crucial for you moving on. And you just have to pretend at the national level like that is the same stakes. You can't say, oh, well, I don't recognize that team, they're not from the Northeast 10, I can't go after them. You just have to treat everybody the same and keep the same intensity you would if you knew exactly who they were, and not be scared by the people who on paper are All-Americans, national champions, whatsoever, because everybody earned their way to the national meet. So if you're there competing, it means that you are one of the best in the country, and you have to respect people, but also respect yourself for performing in a way to get you to that point.
Like, it's at this high level, but it's nothing that we haven't seen before, you know? So we've raced really good teams, and it'll just be it'll be a good experience to compete at that level, because it's my first time competing at that level. So I just really want to end the season off with a good race, and I think that everyone does too.
It's just our culture. I do my absolute best not to have the sunshine just on those who are performing well on that given day, because we've had several All-Americans come through the program, but we've never won anything with just one person. I'm not even looking for a 7th spot. I say that all the time. Everybody that's in that top 7 should be going into a scoring position. That's their goal. But the alumni, you know, the support of Father Tim, the president, Father John Denning, was at our, you know, grotto session on Friday night. You know, having the police escort to the highway, like, all that matters. As they say, it takes a village, and I think when people come here, they understand that you better buckle up because we're all in.
To work through all of that and work through all the setbacks people had, the crazy schedules and everything that COVID brought along with it. And either way, we still got back to the same point that we have for 18 years in a row, which is competing for a national championship. A lot of people didn't think that in August we would be in this position. The polls said it themselves all throughout the year. The coaches challenged us saying, listen, this is real. This isn't 2020. This is not a COVID-infested season. We're going to be competing at a national championship if you earn it. And at the end of the day, we did earn it.